Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Added Time FPL, our weekly, unless there's a break, episodic podcast where we talk about fantasy Premier League football and the Premier League in general, and sometimes complain about Chelsea. But we'll leave that out today. Mike, how is it going? Did you enjoy the break? Did you enjoy the week off?
I mean, I needed like a solid 2 weeks off to forget about the disaster that was Gameweek 29 for myself and the rest of the FPL community. Because if you scored 20 points, you did well. In fact, if you scored 15 points, well done. Last week, the average was 19 points. The last game week.
It was a very good week for me to not have played my free hit because I still came out at 20.
Yeah, rub it in. Rub that masala in the open wound.
Where's Salah? Oh, sorry. Yeah. He's gone up, by the way. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know or weren't aware, I did not play my free hit last week or 2 weeks ago. I managed to navigate my team in preparation for this. Mike did, and it was just a terrible week for everyone. What can you expect when there's 5 teams playing that aren't really the best in the league?
Well, you can expect maybe Watkins to score, or Tony to score, or Son to score, or Bowen to score. Nobody. Like literally, the only reason I have 19 points is because I had 11 players who got a point.
So it's 2 times 11, and then like minus a few, and then that's it.
But otherwise, not a single person actually return in my entire team. But strangely enough, I only have green arrows more or less because
everyone else did even worse.
Like because I overtook everybody who had less than 11 people playing, right? So my wildcard, while it didn't return what normally, no, my wildcard, my free hit didn't return what it normally does, which is a 60, 70, 80 pointer minimum to 100 pointer what you want. It still gave me green arrows because it enabled me to move ahead or stay up to date with everybody in the league. So yes, you are in a big advantage, but I'm still behind there, 60 points.
No, you caught up. But because of that preparation of mine, I had to do something this week, or I did that last week, is played my wildcard. So I've played my wildcard to reset my team. And just to give you a heads up, I'm planning to play my free hit for the confirmed double game week 34. So that's where I'll be using my free hit. There's a few teams that have been confirmed. I don't have the list exactly, but I do know that it is a confirmed.
I'll tell you now, Brighton is playing Man City that game week.
Speaking of Man City, before you tell us, Man City versus Arsenal this weekend. What a massive game. 64 and 65 points, I think. 65 for Arsenal, 64 for City. So yeah, that's
it's a title decider, and if it wasn't Easter Sunday, I'd probably be watching the entirety of the game. I'll try my best between all the festivities of Easter, but it's definitely one of those games, just like the Liverpool one was. The Liverpool City game was a title decider, and you had to watch it. This one is going to be the same, and everything's looking towards an Arsenal win, honestly, because Man City came back with injuries galore, right? Like just so many. Stones is out. That's big for Man City. I don't even know if Haaland is confirmed 100% fit.
I don't know if Haaland can score.
And then you look back at Arsenal, and their star player left the camp early. You'll say it was an injury concern or tightness, but the reality is these players leave camp early because they're under pressure, and they know that if they go back with an injury, their title hopes are dead in the water. Yeah. And they've always believed this season that Man City's thirst for that for a trophy is less than Arsenal's because they won it all last season.
Yeah, they don't really need to do it again, do they?
It's Arsenal's to lose. It's not Man City's to lose. It's Arsenal's to lose.
Yeah.
They've just Arsenal got to be, and Arsenal have to win this because they're ahead. And if they can get the 3 points on the board and get that extra point,
it's tough for Pep to come back.
Well, it's never tough for Pep, but what can he do? Even if he wins every game, if Arsenal keep ahead, Arsenal keep ahead.
Unless Arsenal do Arsenal things and say that no, we'll try again next season. Unless they throw it, but I don't see that happening. No, they're doing something. Anyway, so big game that weekend. Any captains among those games while we're on them?
Well, it's
Saka, Haaland, De Bruyne, maybe anyone?
the less we say about last week, the better. So for game week 30,
Sure.
starting on the 30th of March, the third month of the year, there's also
Game
threes
week
happening.
30, 30th of March, third of month. Yo.
We've got Newcastle versus West Ham, and even Eddie Howe's under intense pressure. Anthony Gordon, though, don't forget that it's been international break, which means that players are coming back. Some of them are going to have a little bit of fatigue. Anthony Gordon just played 2 games. He played most of those 2 games for England. He did okay, but I don't know what that means for playing the first game on a Saturday. And also that lunchtime fixture on a Saturday tends to throw things all over the place. Like, we can't predict it. I think Bowen is a good shout for that game. Even though Newcastle are in form, that form was broken up by the international break somewhat. And Trippier, I don't know if he's back or not. He definitely didn't play for England.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Bowen is a pick. Solanke versus Everton away. Everton are always going to struggle away from home. So Solanke's good. And Cole Palmer will always be in my team until he's
Cole
injured.
Palmer, I'm so happy with Cole Palmer. For those of you who play the FC24, the new FIFA, I bought him in my team, the new card that he has. I just love playing with that guy. And I just love his play style. And I think he's the best thing Chelsea could have happened to Chelsea.
Not good enough to play for England this week, which is good news for us because we didn't have to worry about an injury.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Kobe Manu was good enough to play for England. So Manchester United fans haven't kept quiet about him, but I mean, fair play.
Oh my gosh.
He got to play.
They need something, leave them.
Yeah, no. What about
Son?
I was about to say Luton. Son versus Luton.
I could hear you saying, I'm looking at the article right now. He scored twice over the international break. And he seems to be coming back focused. And if I was going to look at any player in a game where, like, all those players I mentioned were decent, but Luton away is a good fixture. Spurs need to claw their way back. They've had a little bit of a break. Son is rearing to go. And aside from Son, I would say I would keep my eye on the Liverpool fixture as well.
Yeah.
Because Brighton have not been the strongest defensively. And that game is going to see goals if we go by anything this season. So if Salah is fit, then he's also a captaincy option for those who have Salah. And for those who had Salah out and had people like Luis Diaz, Soboslai was also on the score sheet this international break. So there's more captain picks than there were last week.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
It's good. It's nice to have variation.
Are you leaning into the Sun direction? Are you leaning into looking into the Sun?
More, I don't want to burn my eyes. I'm more looking at Salah. Currently, my captain is set on Salah, and my vice is set on Son. It might change. Just obviously, we'll wait as long as possible for team news and updates before I make a decision. Speaking of Son and Salah, let me tell you the rest of my team, because I've played a wildcard and there's been some crazy changes, and I have some players that I don't think that you thought I might have gone for. So that'll be interesting.
Oh dear! Should we show everybody your wildcard?
Yeah, bring up the screen. For those of you that are listening, you can go to YouTube and check it out. There'll be a nice little pop-up. Mike's gonna just drag the players in so you can get a visual idea of who I'm playing.
So everybody out there, if you want a wildcard, this is the place to be, because Nate the Great, the winner of our FPL, he's the Man City of our group.
Yeah, no one wants me to win again. They want someone to dethrone me.
I don't know. I'm like
Arsenal.
Liverpool.
No,
I'm Liverpool. I'm Liverpool. I won once. The last 5-6 years. I won once.
Who's Liverpool? Who's Arsenal? Shamir's probably Arsenal. He wouldn't like me saying that shit. He's a United supporter. Anyway, let's start in goal, as you always would.
Who is your goalkeeper of choice here?
I have Onana.
What's his name?
Onana. This is why I have him. So you might be thinking, what? Why? Man United? Clean sheets? Never. There's so little, there's like not enough clean sheets being kept this season to warrant a goalkeeper that has to be picked for clean sheets. The reason why I've gone for him is because United's defense is so bad. He has to save everything. And what happens when you save a lot? You get points for it. I think he's the most point-giving goalkeeper for saves per game that you can get right now, because not many people keep clean sheets, but he'll get 2 points for playing, but then he'll get like maybe a bonus 2 for saving. So he'll end up with 5 points just for a goalless game. Imagine that's a clean sheet game. So that is my thoughts on going with him.
Everybody hyped this guy up at the beginning of the season, and he was being rubbish. However, if you had kept on under from the beginning of the season, you would have scored the most points for goalkeeper right now. He's the top of the list. And again, it's not because Onana's been great or United's defense has been great, but because they've been leaky, he's saved enough shots. So you're right. Very right. And a 4.8 is not too bad. No. He hasn't hit that point. Like I would say, like a goalkeeper, when they go over 5, then I start to say, is it worth the points you're going to maybe generate? But under 5, you're still doing good.
Yeah. So that would be my pick. And then my second choice goalkeeper is Petrovic from Chelsea. 4.5. He's down there. He's on that. Yeah, you might have to search for him. Firstly, for me as a Chelsea fan, I rate him over Sanchez. I think he's a great signing. We also didn't know who he was because he came from an American club. But I mean, if we're talking Chelsea terms, him over Sanchez, he'll probably always start now. The other thing is that I think Chelsea are starting to develop some kind of form, and they are good at keeping the opponents out. Like the Sarsi own goal, like what can you do? You know, I mean, that's stupidity. But like most of the time, I think they can keep a clean sheet. And I don't really know of anyone else that's a 4.5 in that price range to fit within my budget for what I'm going for. And everyone else has very tough fixtures coming up. Chelsea are ending with a decent run of fixtures. If you want to show the Chelsea fixtures. So, I mean, other than the Arsenal and Aston Villa game, they're pretty good. So that's my goal.
I would say there's an argument. I like your Onana pick. There's an argument for Flecken.
Yeah, 100%.
As a long-term goalkeeper, because Brentford have the ability to keep clean sheets. It's outside of Man United, they have a run of good fixtures right to the end of the season. But also at the same time, when you're looking at Arsenal, you're looking at City, and you're looking at Liverpool. Those 3 teams are playing big games because every game, every goal they let in is the Premier League slipping away. So at this last run of the season, I would look to one of those goalkeepers. The problem is both Becker and Edison have injury concerns. So
which brings back the Keller option.
Liverpool. If you want to go for one of the if you need to save some money, go for Keller or go for any of the backup goalkeepers. And then there's also the Arsenal goalkeeper that you want to maybe just keep in your back pocket because Raya's been good, sitting at 5 million. And I don't care how bad his fixtures are. I know Arsenal players are gonna. Yeah. They have to. Yeah. They playing to win. Now that's why I think he's better than a Brentford pick, because Brentford probably not going to win the Premier League. Maybe push into Europe or keep a place up there, but it's not like the end of the world for them, and they're not going to get relegated.
No.
So I think if you're looking at a goalkeeper for the rest of the season, think about those teams at the top and which one of them you feel is going to keep the most clean sheets from those players. And Raya's at the top of Allison and Edison in terms of that. Well, they're actually all at the same point, so you can choose which one you want. Raya's the cheapest out of the 3, and my money's on Arsenal to shut out everybody more often.
If you're going 5 mil for Raya, I'd probably look at Keller because he's like 3.8 as a backup, and he will probably play for a while. So that could be your money spread. But that's what I'm going with for now. Defense, Gabriel and Gusto, you can reselect from your team. I also have those 2 picks.
But they're both injured.
I know, but the other 3 of my defenders aren't injured, so it's okay. But
is it Pedro?
Yes, I've still got Pedro Porro. I've held on to him.
Yes.
You know, Mus. You know. And then to round out the defense, I've got Fabian Schär, Newcastle boy. And is it Nori? Alt Nori? Control Alt Delete Nori? The Wolves defender. I've got him in. So that's
All of your picks make absolute sense to me, except for Alt Norris. So explain that one.
Just fixtures and cheap field that I can. He's not going to start every game, but he's going to be that odd. Remember how, who was it that did it for me a while ago in the season? Who was that player, man? Do you remember? I had that bench warmer that just came in every now and then to just get me points.
Taylor?
Taylor, yeah, Taylor. Oh, yeah. Charlie Taylor. So that's what he is for me now. So Nori is my Charlie Taylor at this point. So like you saw, there's some green fixtures there. That's when I can look to play him. Otherwise, he's just there. Him and Gusto are just bench fodder for that. Yeah.
I rate your defense. My only like counter to your defense would be thinking about whether it's worthwhile to double up on Spurs defenders for their attacking returns. Because Pedro Porro and Udogi seem to exchange who gets to get
Attack,
the goals, right?
Yeah.
I started to like the idea of, and I spoke to you about this already now, Arsenal's defense. You continue with that and you go, should you be having, if you're not going to have a goalkeeper, have the second Arsenal defender in there.
If Walker wasn't out, I would probably consider putting Kyle Walker back in for Fabian Schär, because Kyle's 5.4.
Yeah, that's not a bad.
And as we spoke, people need to start keeping clean sheets if you're at the top. So.
And my out there pick probably, and he's 1.1 more, would be Robinson, because Fulham do play attacking football. He does pop up with goals. He's performed over the last couple of 5, 6, 7 game weeks. He's got 2 easy fixtures. So anyone out there looking for alternatives, I think Robinson is a player to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Let's go to the midfield. Unless you have anything else to say.
No, that's pretty much it. You can keep Saka, because I'm not going to take him out ever. He has been since game week 1, and he will stay until game week 38. So he is my golden egg pick for the year. Yeah. Saka, and then I've brought back in Palmer, so you can unselect Palmer, and then Son. So I have Son as well.
So you don't have Foden and Gross, so who do you have instead?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. In place of Phil Foden, I have Mohamed Salah. Or I guess in place of Gross. And then in place of Gross/Phil Foden, I've got Garnacho.
This guy, you're going right into the thick of it with Garnacho, 4.9. That is an amazing pick. This guy has been, in form at times. He's the one that has anything happen. United do not have bad fixtures, especially this game at Chelsea. We know they're going to beat us. And they turn up against big teams at Liverpool. We will see them come again. So they already beat them in the cup.
And remember what I said a while ago? I said Garnacho might be the next Cole Palmer in FPL. When Palmer was 4.95 mil and he shot up, I think it's going to be the same with Garnacho. But he's, like I say, I'm happy with those front 4. I don't need Garnacho, but Garnacho's there if I need him. So that'll be my midfield lineup.
My only concern about your midfield, and I don't even know how you would be addressed this because you don't have the money. And I just think it's not De Bruyne. I'm done with him.
Oh, like Foden or someone.
Foden or a Man City asset, because historically Man City this end of the season are going to score goals. However, considering all the injuries they have, and considering that out of the 3, I don't know if I trust them to be as good as Liverpool or Arsenal going forward right now, with everything that's going on. Injuries and on that as well. I think you're doing the right thing for your wildcard for this week. However, it's the Man City games that I might be hiding behind a couch and going like what Crystal Palace, Luton at home, for the run of it's good for this week, but I think moving forward, a well-placed injury will pull you back to Foden.
No, for sure. I agree with you. I think I will probably end up going back to Foden. The thing is, this wildcard draft, after the front 3, I'm going to have 6.6 million left in my bank. That gives me room to move around to a lot of players. One of the players that I could move around to is Haaland, because he is not in my draft.
Holy Kentucky mushrooms.
My front
No,
three.
Haaland. No, Foden. No. Did Pep did something to you? Are you okay? Did he spit in your Coke or something?
So here's my front three. I got Watkins. Still got Watkins. I don't think you can afford to take him out based on his price rise. I've got Darwin Núñez. Also a bit of injury concern, but we'll see. But this is the draft at the moment. And finally,
and you can afford Haaland. Let's just be clear.
Yes, I can.
Right now,
yeah,
you could afford Haaland right now, but you're not choosing to. You're choosing to instead go with
Mooney's from Fulham.
Tell us about that, because Darwin is a starship trooper that sometimes misses, and Watkins is a stable, and he also played a bit part role in England, so I think he'll come back screaming and ready to go. But where does Mooney's come from?
Mooney's is money for starters, because I can take out Núñez for Haaland, or I can take out, I believe I can take out Palmer for Foden. So that's where that comes from. And so I needed a cheaper midfielder just to open my options for City later. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and close and then use all the budget now, because we need the money when it comes to it. But I mean, you're showing it now on screen. Muniz's form has been really good.
It's too good.
And for that value,
he's hauled 3 times in the last 6 games.
And for that value,
4 out of 60 games.
Yeah,
he blanked twice and hauled 4 times. And both of those hauls were
home fixtures,
away games. So he's played really well at home. Really, really well.
If you go fixtures, I think he's also got a really good lineup for the rest of the season. Like there's some good options towards the end where I could just swap him over. But I think it's also Fulham. I think they need to keep fighting for points. They can still get relegated. So I'm banking on that.
I only thing I would be wary of is if looking at his form, as I just said now, his hauls have all been at home. Okay. So if you look, the 4 out of the 6 games he hauled is at home. If you look at his fixtures, he is playing away Sheffield, Forest, West Ham. So, and then his home games are actually tough ones at Liverpool and Newcastle. So I don't doubt the Sheffield one, because the Sheffield one is a good pick for this week. It's a great pick, because Sheffield United, I look like they're gone. They checked out a long time ago. Early checkout from the hotel of the Premier League. They're out because the amount of goals they're conceding. If they play like they did over the last couple of game weeks, expect to see 5 goals again that they concede, and Núñez will be 2 of them plus an assist.
You could
It's a brilliant pick for this week, but I don't know about going forward.
Look, I am playing with the idea of maybe looking at Semenyo from Bournemouth. He also is in the same price category. His fixtures are slightly better.
He was the pick last week, just by the way, everybody. Yeah. If you picked him, you got more points than anybody else in it.
One player scored you more points.
One got higher than the average of the whole. Last week was another thing.
But yeah, so no, that's the draft. Like I say, it might change between now and the weekend. That was just my initial draft. I'm pretty happy with it overall. I've got the money left in the bank just in case I need to make some moves. And I can start banking the transfer.
Not playing Haaland isn't the biggest thing about your team. I think Núñez is a pick, and I think not having Foden is a pick. Like those are the things that stand out to me that make me go, yeah, I can't. So I look forward to seeing you score that 100 points.
I do too. I'm hoping anything less than a 75 point to 70 pointer for me on a wildcard draft is a bit of a flop. So I flopped last half of the season with the first wild card. I had a bit of a flop. I'm hoping I don't this season. I'll show you the lineup. You can just click confirm change. I'm joking, don't do that. My confirmed lineup, based on obviously team news, but I've got Petrovic starting this week. I've got Pedro Porro, Gusto, and Nouri, Palmer, Garnacho, Son, and Salah. And then Núñez, Darwin, and Watkins. I've left Saka on the bench and Gabriel on the bench, pending team news, because I'd rather play a full 90-minute player at this point than a 30, 40-minute Saka, and I don't think it'll be a risk. So
Yeah, it's the big game. You probably expecting maybe a draw from those teams as well. So Gabriel might get some points. Can you help me before we run out of time? Yeah, because we're in added time, and I need changes and I need help. Because look at my team, my poor team, bro. Look at it.
Well,
I don't know. I obviously have to make 2 defensive changes because I have a team of defenders out, and this guy is going out of my team because I'm sick and tired of him. And Doughty's I have all my cheap defense. I have no idea how to fix this team.
So before we do that, go to pick team. Let's see what your squad's looking like for this week, and then we can.
This is tips from the master himself.
So this is how I like to approach, and I look at my squad and I think, okay, so look, Palmer, we're probably going to play over Saka potentially. Let's just pending injury news, and we're going to definitely play Gusto over Cash. You know what I mean?
And Bradley, I would say Bradley over Doughty.
So now we look at this lineup and we think, okay, Gabriel stays. Who's disposable? Probably Cash and Doughty. So now we can work from there. So we can think to ourselves, we can take -2, but I don't think it's necessary. Out of the 2, I'd most likely get controversial opinion. I'd most likely get rid of Doughty just because of the fixtures for Cash and the money. So
yeah, but Cash has been useless since like Gameweek 6 or something.
I know.
Like, look, 1-0-1. He's playing programming. Yeah, he's doing computer programming, bro. 1-0, 1 and zeros.
1s and zeros. But I mean, look at the fixtures that Doughty has. Luton are going to have a tough time.
Yes, you are right, but he's also a cheapie.
No, I know he is, but I mean, I would look at getting one of my picks potentially. Maybe Nouri from Wolves for 4.5. He doesn't have bad runs. You could match me as well with that. If you go to defenders, there's not really much else in that price category of 4.5 that are a decent standout. I mean, everyone's just above. Your Robertson pick might not be a bad shot.
Do you know who I think is a good pick considering all the news that's been going on? Ben White.
You know, this man is like the new face of Arsenal. That's how he's been made out to be. The way Arteta.
Full rest from the international break. He's busy playing cards while everybody, like, he has the potential to come back and kind of go, well, this is what happens when you rest, and come back and actually just dominate. And if I go with my theory about doubling up with Arsenal, like, especially since Gabriel's injured, I think that if I go White, Bradley, and hope for Gusto or Gabriel to play, I think I might be covered enough.
You know what?
To get through this
game. That Ben White pick might win you the game week. It has that potential. Because the thing is, like, for those of you who don't know, Ben White just signed a new contract with Arsenal. He's Arteta's, like, golden boy now, like the defense. He's the one that's going to carry Arsenal.
I just think it's a story waiting to happen. Ben White scores and assists and all of this, and clean sheets and all of this.
The only problem Ben White leaves you with is probably sacrificing Son for Salah. I don't know if you have the funds to do it anything else. Or Haaland for Salah. So that's just something you'll have to weigh up and maybe bank a transfer later. Let's see.
Are you saying it's dangerous for me to go without? But it's Luton.
Yeah, no, not this week. Not this week. Later down the line, because Liverpool are also in the title race. So later down in the Premier League, it's something to look out for. So
I have no money for this.
That's why I said you have to take a Son. Take out Son? Nah, sorry, but you still can't. You need to take out Son. Can you?
No, I can't.
Take out Son.
Fine.
So, and then cash for Ben White. Oh, you one short. That hurts. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just had an upset. We have
just what happens when you make your changes too late and you wait.
Salah went up last night, so that's probably what happened there. But no, that's fine. You're not looking to bring in Salah now. Don't let the price sway through. Don't let it throw you. That's also not a bad shot. Maybe you need to pump your defense. Maybe you go Pedro Porro, take out Doughty and bring in Ben White.
But I'll have to make changes up front to bring in Salah.
Yeah, but no one cares about Haaland anymore. He's overrated. He says sheepishly.
If I go into this game week that's the problem, because I think Arsenal are going to win the game, but I'm going to go into the game week bringing in Ben White, and I'm going to have 2 City. You know what I'm going to do? I think Arsenal are going to win this game, but I'm going to have my FPL team focus on a City win, and hopefully that pushes me in the right direction.
Well, then, as we wrap up, before we get kicked off the field, who's your captain choice for this weekend? Because we have
Considering that I cannot bring in Salah, I think my captain choice is obviously Son.
If you were saying Haaland, I was going to say you were cooking with something crazy and you might just win the world. Like it's
nah.
But yeah, having Haaland though is a bit nervous for me. Having Haaland Foden in your team is a bit scary for me because I don't have any of them. But like it's going to go one of 2 ways. Next week we're going to film and you are going to be happy because you trumped me and City got points, or I'm going to be gloating because I didn't bother with City and they didn't get points. So it's one way or the other. We'll have to see what happens.
I don't know if this is my team. I might just go rogue, play no defense, and bring in Salah and Muniz, and have a strong attack without any defenders, and hope for the best. That might be my move.
And on that bombshell, we'll end it there. Cool. Well, we'll see what happens. Stay updated. Let us know in the comments what your teams are. If you have anything that you'll take from this. We'll see you guys next week for Gameweek 31. Good luck, Mike, to the weekend. Good luck on your captaincy choice. Like I say, mine's set on Son until further notice. Maybe it'll be Salah. So we might have some.
I have a feeling you're thinking about Salah hard.
Yeah.
Just for everybody out there, there is a new challenge that the FPL released, which is a weekly challenge. We won't talk about it today, but next week we'll go in a deep dive on these new weekly challenges and how they're giving people who are obviously behind
can't commit so hard as well. Like you can't make, like there's a lot of people in our group alone that keep forgetting deadlines and just don't have the time to just bother with it. Like this is our lives now, so we have the time. But like for other people, it's a good incentive. It's very smart from FPL. But yeah, cool. Well, that's all. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment on your teams, and let us know if you have any better choices. Let us know if you got the situation for Mike, and we'll see you guys next week.
Take care. Good night, good morning, good evening, and good luck to FPL. More than 16 points. Thank you. Happy Easter.